Hello and welcome to this mini EFT workshop. So this is for anyone wanting to try out emotional freedom tapping, or just tapping as it's known. And this is all to do with managing our emotions, particularly when we're at the height of them. So if emotions come in and cause a huge disruption at the time, so it may be something, if you're getting a flight and you're terrified of flying, that emotional disturbance will come in right at that moment. It will be heightened, and so it's utilizing these techniques to try and just bring down the fight or flight reaction within the body and try and calm down those emotions by using the tapping. And the tapping actually is regulating our nervous system and the meridians within our body where we hold different emotional disturbances, and each area holds a different type of disturbance. So it might be fear or grief, sadness, even being shy, things like that, so self-confidence. And so each point that we tap will help release energy that we're holding there. And it is most effective at the time when we're in a heightened state of disturbance or emotions. But you can try and use them regularly to try and limit those disturbances from occurring if you know areas of your life where you are struggling. And so the first thing we want to do when we're in this heightened state of emotion is to actually give ourselves a gauge before we begin the tapping of how strongly or how affected am I by this emotion. So if you had 0 as I'm not affected at all, and 10 as in this emotional, this feeling is crippling me right now, I'm not able to cope at all, complete overwhelm. So you're going to give yourself a gauge on that scale between 0 and 10, just very quickly in your mind, think, where am I right now? And that's your first step. Okay, so now we have given ourselves that gauge of how strong this situation is and how it's affecting us. We need to think of a statement that relates to the feeling that we're currently in, okay, the state we're currently in. And so if we use stress, for example, we might say, I'm highly stressed right now, and I'm unable to complete my next task. Okay, it could be really simple. You can put a lot more detail in if you want to, but at this point we'll just make a really simple reminder statement, okay? Now, in between that statement, or above and below it, we are going to put in like a sandwich of positivity. So we're going to start it with even though. So even though I'm highly stressed and I'm unable to continue with my task, and then we're going to end that with, I love and accept myself. Okay, so we're putting these two positive statements either side of our reminder statement, which is telling us about this current situation that we're in. Okay, so even though I'm currently highly stressed and I'm unable to continue with my task, I love and accept myself. So you can decide on those two statements either side, but they need to be something quite positive, and that take away any judgment or negativity. We want to replace this feeling of negativity with something positive. We're trying to halt that fight or flight, and the best way to do that is to calm our nervous system, okay? So those statements, either side of your reminder, will stay the same, okay? And your reminder for whichever situation you're going through might change. But either side of that, keep those two statements the same. Now, if you're someone that's going to find it difficult to say the words, I love and accept myself, you can shift that around, because some people find those emotions about themselves quite hard to express. So find something that emotionally feels right for you, okay? Even if it's, I will try to love and accept myself. Now, if children are trying this technique, it's great. They can actually just scrunch their face up. So they're going to show the emotion. So if that's easier for you, rather than all these statements, you can literally scrunch your face up, show that emotion on your face. As long as you're feeling that emotion at the time you're going through these statements, that's the key thing, okay, is allowing yourself to recognize and feel the emotion you're currently going through. Okay. So the next thing we do is we are going to go through the setup of our tapping routine. Okay, so we choose to do our karate point. I will go through all of the points with you individually in a moment. So we're going to start with the karate point. Now that can be tapped, or literally you can chop against this soft part of the hand here. Now while we're doing this, we're going to say our setup statement, okay? And this is actually just preparing our mind and our emotional state for this shift that we're trying to achieve, okay? So we've done our gauge, we've decided that we're at number 9, we're right at the edge of becoming completely overwhelmed. And so we think, I'm gonna use my tapping. So we start with our karate chop or our tapping. Again, either hand, doesn't matter. Either point, you can do both, one, whichever feels right for you. And then while you're doing your tapping, you're going to say your statement, okay? Your sandwich statement. So even though I'm feeling completely stressed and overwhelmed and I'm not able to complete my next task, I love and accept myself. Even though I'm feeling highly stressed and I'm overwhelmed and I'm now not able to complete my next task, I love and accept myself. Even though I'm highly stressed, I'm feeling completely overwhelmed and I now can't complete my next task, I love and accept myself. Okay, so that's our setup. Now, once we've done our full statement 3 times, you might want to do it more, however it feels right for you. You'll sort of get a sense. Sometimes you may only want to do it twice, but 2 or 3 times, then you're going to move into a full round of tapping. So next I'm going to show you each point to tap. Now, with the tapping, you can use either hand, you can use both hands together, you can switch hands depending on how that feels. You can tap one side and then the other side, you can do it simultaneously. You literally can't do this wrong, okay? But each side does the same meridian, so you can't get it wrong, whether you're swapping over or, yeah, whichever hand you're using, okay? So, the first point after your karate chopping that you're going to go for is right here where our eyebrow ends, okay? So, with your fingers, you're just gonna tap fairly firmly, but not hard, you know, you don't want to actually be hurting yourself. So this is point 1, the eyebrow. Okay, so point 2, we go along our eyebrow to where our eyebrow comes to a natural end. And we're looking to tap on the actual brow bone here, not on the soft tissue of the eye and not into the temple. So right on the corner of the eyebrow. Okay, so point 3 is we go in line with our pupil. Again, we're going for the bone here on the eye socket. We don't want to be tapping in this soft tissue. Okay, so just below the eye. Now we're going to do a point between our nose and lip. So we're looking where this natural dip is. We want to get our finger there on either side, and we're just going to tap. Careful, if you've got nails, you need to use the tips of your fingers. Okay, the next point is we come down to this natural crease in our chin, and we're going to tap just in there. Next, we're going to come down to our collarbone. Okay, so follow your collarbone along to the end, and then just underneath it is your point 4 tapping. next point is just below the armpit. We come down, we want to be sort of in line with our nipple. For ladies, it's just going to be where your bra strap is. And for any men, yeah, as I say, just follow round from where your nipple is and come in line with the armpit. And you're just going to tap here. You need to tap a little bit harder here than you would anywhere else, just because it's the type of muscle structure you've got here. And our last point is in the middle of our head. And I use both hands here, but again, you could just do one. Okay, now that you've seen each point that we're going to go through on our body, and we've set up a statement, now I'm going to just show you one full round of tapping. Okay, so we're going to imagine that we've already begun with our karate chop and our full statement. Okay, and then we're going to go on to do each point. Now, when we go through and do our tapping on the meridian points on our face and torso, what we're then going to do is, whilst we're going through them, we're going to say our reminder phrase. Now that can change throughout your tapping, okay? As things are coming up, you're going to say them, and it's going to feel like you're just repeating negative thoughts at that point, okay? But what you're doing whilst you're tapping is resetting that negativity so that it takes away that intense sensation, that intense feeling, okay? So it might feel like an odd thing to do because you're repeating negative phrases, but actually what you're doing is you're releasing those feelings, okay, that are being held in those meridians. So it's going to look something like this. Even though I'm really highly stressed and I'm completely overwhelmed, and right now I don't think I'm going to be able to continue with all the tasks I need to do today, and I feel a bit defeated, and I'm really disappointed that this stress has overtaken the things I want to get done today. And now I feel quite angry with myself that again this stress has got to this situation where I feel like I can't cope. And now my heart is racing and I don't really know what to do next. And deep down, I feel a bit ashamed that I can't cope. This stress just came from nowhere. It's been building all morning. And so far I haven't dealt with it. And now I've shut down and I'm scared about how I'm going to continue through all the things I need to get done. And this is causing me a bit of panic. And it's making me breathe shallow. And now I've forgotten all the things I need to get done today. And I'm going to be really disappointed, and it means tomorrow I'm going to be even busier. So what I suggest is that you do maybe 2 or 3 rounds depending on where you were on that initial scale. So if you're a 9 or a 10, you're going to need to do 2 or 3 rounds, okay? You can repeat the same thing each time. I'm stressed and overwhelmed. I'm stressed and overwhelmed. Or like I did, you can literally go through everything that's coming up, everything you're feeling, all those sensations. And if you don't say anything, but you're feeling that emotion, that's fine as well, okay? Some of the points you might actually not want to say anything. You might just want to continue going and just sense that feeling, okay? So after you've done 2 or 3 rounds of that, you're going to reassess your level. Where do I feel now? Have I come down a notch? Have I come down 3 notches? Am I feeling like a 5 now, maybe, or a 6? So if that's the case, I would suggest you do a whole another round. Just keep going with the tapping, another 1 or 2 rounds, and then reassess again. And then what you're going to finish with, once you think, okay, I'm calming right down, I'm getting right down to a normal level, you're going to do your karate chop. And then you're going to finish by saying, even though I was highly stressed, I've been able to regulate my system, and now I'm going to carry on with my tasks because I completely love and accept myself. Okay, so you're going to say that statement or something similar. Again, you're just now shifting your statement to how you feel now. So you're going to bring it back into alignment with the feelings that you have now. And then you're going to finish your round, and then you can carry on. Now, if you don't find that 2 or 3 rounds of that tapping has been enough for you, there is additional tapping that you can do across your hands. Okay, so you're going to use each finger other than the ring finger. We do that in a different point in the hand. So you're going to go through each finger, and again, you're going to end with your karate. One of our additional points is on the side of our thumb, and so we're just going to tap. And the second additional point is on our index finger. And then we move on to our middle finger, again in the same place. Now we skip our ring finger and we do the same on our little finger. Next point is our karate chop. Next is our gamut point, which is sort of in line with our ring finger. You can feel there's like a dip in the hands. So as I said, you may not need to use those additional tapping points on the hands, or you may feel you just want to do tapping on your hands, and that's okay as well. Each of the points where you're going to tap represent a different emotion, a different meridian within the body. So you can't actually just use individual points. So by the eyebrow is to do with fear, for instance. So if you're going through an emotion of fear, you may just want to tap on the eyebrow. I do find that by using the technique, if you think of it like a question mark almost, so it comes up and around and then down, that will just help you get the sequence. But I find using the meridians around the head and the torso the most beneficial. Very rarely do I go through each one then on the hands and the fingers. But obviously, just so you've got all the parts of the technique that you might want to use. And what I would say is that even if the feelings or emotions are still there, if you're coming down on the gauge and the intensity is leaving, then obviously you're starting to achieve those lower levels on your gauge. And so it may be that you need to re-look at that situation at a later point. But if you can just bring down the intensity for you to be able to manage the situation that you're in, then obviously that is the success of the tapping. So it does take a bit of practice. It feels a bit alien to begin with, but the more you do it, the more you start using those points, you're going to pick them up and they'll become quite intuitive. What I'll do is I'll put down a table for you just so that can list all of those or some of the emotions linked with the different meridians, so that if you do just want to use one tapping point, then obviously you can do that. So I'll list them at the end of the video. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, as always, please ask. And if you want to see any more information regarding tapping, then please let me know.